You are going to print things constantly to see a result, to check your work, to build output. The FMT package gives you 3 workhorses for that job. They look similar at first glance, but they behave differently, and the differences matter. Learn them properly once, here, and you will pick the right one without having to think about it. Here is one small program that prints the same information 3 different ways. We have a name, Grace, and an age, 45. The first line uses println. You hand it your values, it puts spaces between them, and it ends the line for you. The second uses print. Same idea, except it does not add a new line at the end, so we had to add one ourselves. The third uses Printf. That is short for print formatted, and this one is different in kind. With print, you write out the line exactly as you want it, and you mark the holes where your values go. Look at what that third line prints. There is a comma after the name, because we asked for one. The other 2 cannot do that. So here is when to use each of them. Println is the friendly default. Spaces between your values. A new line at the end, no thought required. Print is the same without the new line, and it only puts a space between 2 values when neither one is a string. It is fussier, and honestly, you will use it the least. Printf is the one worth learning properly. You write the line exactly as you want it to look, and you decide where the values land. Println when you just want to look, Printf for anything you actually care about. Let us slow right down and take Printf apart. The first thing you give it is the format string. This is the whole line you want, written out, with holes punched in it. Each hole is a %, followed by a letter. Those are called verbs. %s is a hole for a string. %d is a hole for a whole number. After the format string come the values, in order. The first value fills the first hole, the second value fills the second. So %s takes the name, %d takes the age, and the line comes out exactly the shape we drew it. And notice the \n on the end. That is the new line, and with Printf you have to put it there yourself. Printf never guesses. There are a lot of verbs in Go. These are the ones you will really use. %s for a string. %d for a whole number in ordinary decimal. %f for a floating point number. On its own, it gives you 6 decimal places, which is usually more than anybody wants. So %.2f cuts it down to 2 decimals. You can put any number in there. %t for a Boolean, true or false. %v is the I just want to see it verb. Hand it almost anything and it prints something sensible. %q prints a string with its quotes still on, which is very handy when you are hunting for a stray space. And %T does not print the value at all. It prints the value's type. %v and %T together are the fastest debugging tool in the language. Here they are for real. We start with pi, 3.14159. %.2f rounds it for display, and we get, rounded, 3.14. %versus prints the whole value, and %T tells us it is a float 64. Notice we had to pass pi twice, once for each verb. And %q shows the string hello with its quote still attached. That last one matters more than it looks. When a string has a space in it you did not expect, %q is how you find out. Sometimes you do not want to print the text at all. You want to keep it. Maybe you need to store it, or return it from a function, or drop it into an error message. That is Sprintf. The extra S on the front stands for string. It does everything Printf does, but instead of printing, it hands the finished string back to you. So here we build the line user, #7, Catherine, and we keep it in a variable called label. Now we can print it, or measure it, or do anything else you can do with a string. Printf is one of the most used functions in all of Go. Anytime you need a string with some values dropped into it, this is the tool. One last thing, and it is a mistake you are definitely going to make. The first line is correct. 2 verbs, 2 values, and it prints 2 numbers, 10 and 20. The second line has 2 verbs but only 1 value. We forgot the 20. Go does not crash. It prints your line anyway, and where the missing value should have been, it writes %, exclamation mark, D, and the word missing in brackets. That is Go complaining in the middle of your own output, and it is deliberate, it is loud, so that you notice it. So anytime you see missing in your output, go and count your verbs, then count your values. One of them is short. If you take one thing away about the difference between them, make it this. Println guesses the layout for you. It adds the spaces. It ends the line. It makes reasonable choices on your behalf. Printf does exactly what you wrote. Nothing more, nothing helpful. That is why Printf needs its \n. It is not being difficult, it is being obedient. 4 things to carry away. Println, for a quick look at something. Printf, when the shape of the line actually matters. Printf never adds a new line for you. You type it yourself, every time. % versus when you want to see a value. %, T when you want to know what it is. And sprintf when you want to keep the string rather than print it. That is genuinely most of what you need from FMT. Your turn. Using a single printf, print this exact line. Item, widget, then a bar, then price, $9.50, then a bar, then in stock, true. The price has to show 2 decimals, and that last value is a Boolean. Pause here and try it. Here's the answer. %s for the item name. Then a $sign, which we simply type, followed by %.2f. That is what turns 9.5 into 9.50. And %t for the Boolean on the end. Everything else in that format string is just text we typed out. 1 printf, 3 verbs, and exactly the line we were asked for. That is printing in Go. Println when you just want to look at something. Printf when the shape of the output matters to you. And sprintf when you want to keep the text rather than show it. Next module, giving your values names, variables, types, and constants.